Forum in Montreal, Canadians and Rangers prepare for the fourth game of their best-of-7 Stanley Cup semifinals. Canadians are shy two of their all-stars, Bill Durnan and Ken Reardon. The Rangers defeated Canadians in the opening game in New York 3-1. They won the second game in Montreal 3-2, and back in Madison Square Garden, the Rangers won the third game 4-1. Here's the scoring play. Don Raleigh across the line. It's a drop pass to Stanley, who shoots. Jerry McNeil saves, but Stanley passes to Pendleton, who scores. The Rangers lead 1-0. Here's a disallowed Ranger goal. Eddles clears across the line. Jackie McLeod battles Leger for possession. Harvey comes in to help. Galita boards Harvey. McNeil stops McLeod's shot. McLeod takes the rebound and scores, but the whistle blows as the puck was lost to the referee's view. With the Rangers short-handed, Canadians tied the score. Normie Dussault from Elmer Locke and Maurice Richard. Halfway through the second period, the Rangers went ahead. Eddie Slowinski passed up ahead to Don Raleigh. Around Harmon. Fires a 15-footer that hits the bottom corner, and the Rangers are on top 2-1. It's one of the best games ever played in the Forum. Dunk Fisher takes LaPrade's pass to the blue line. Doug Harvey hits him a solid check. Maurice Richard swings around LaPrade ahead to Dussault. Dussault sends Locke flying through the defense, but Locke misses a great scoring chance by shooting wide. Raleigh, a master stick handler, around Floyd Curry, around Harmon. Across the line, his pass is intercepted by Harmon. Harmon swings back, passes up the boards to Callum McKay, who passes to Ken Mosdell. Mosdell's wicked shot is caught by Rayner, who hangs on tight. Back comes Don Raleigh of the Rangers. He passes to Ed Slowinski. Slowinski returns the pass to Raleigh. Raleigh is tripped by McKay. Referee Keeling whistles for a penalty on McKay. With Rangers leading 2-1 in the third period, watch closely for a climactic moment in the game. Leger shoots wide of the net. It bounces up to the blue line. Glenn Harmon, not in the picture, shoots. Rayner is hit on the side of the head by the screen shot. The puck rolls wide of the net. Rayner is taken to the hospital room in the Forum, but soon returns like a real gamester. As Elmer Locke faces off with Ed LaPrade, Rayner seems a bit unsteady, and with 10 minutes left in regulation time, Canadians move in to tie up the game. Dussault of Canadians from the corner passes to Bouchard at the blue line. Bouchard back to Dussault. Richard waves his stick for a pass. Dussault to Bouchard to Harvey. Harvey's shot is tipped into the net by Richard. Richard scored 43 goals in the regular NHL season. This was his only goal in the playoffs. They go into overtime with the team tied at 2-2. Canadians battling to prolong the series. Dussault passes up to Locke, who races in to score. The crowd goes wild. Canadians win 3-2. Locke is mobbed by his teammates. Canadians win their first game in the series, and the remaining games will be played on Montreal ice. Ready at center ice. Canadians in the white sweaters, Rangers in the blue. Gus Kyle follows the puck back into the corner. Mosdell chases him. Ed LaPrade races into center ice. Maurice Richard trips LaPrade. Referee Gravel on top of the play calls a penalty on hockey's famous Rocket. Canadians successfully hold off the Rangers during the penalty. Bert Hirschfeld rushes for Canadians, gives and takes a pass with Billy Ray. But Rayner is too good, clearing the puck to the corner. There is plenty at stake, so the teams pull the throttle wide open. Nick McCoskey goes into the corner, gets away from Bouchard's fierce check. The pass out comes to Jack Lancian, who is beautifully covered by Harmon, Hirschfeld, and Bouchard. O'Connor circles for a shot, Harmon blocking it. And Ken Mosdell carries it out of danger. Locke and Harmon watch anxiously from the bench. Here is Jerry McNeil, Bill Durnan's replacement in goal, who played brilliantly in the fourth game. Suddenly thrust into the Stanley Cup playoffs, McNeil is under intense pressure. With great speed, Billy Ray starts away for Canadians. Rayner stops Ray's wicked shot, and the Rangers come racing back. Watch Jerry McNeil make 2 dazzling saves. There's the first. There's the second. Floyd Curry falls on the loose puck. Canadians give Rayner some anxious moments. It's a hard-hitting game. Both sides lay on the weight, hard but clean. Hirschfeld is bumped along the board. Dick Irvin watches the play closely. Locke comes bursting through. Rayner comes out to make a great save. Billy Ray faces off with Ed LaPrade and then drifts in front of the goal to wait for the pass that never comes. It's early in the third period, no score, but suddenly the Rangers get one. Nick McCoskey brings it out of the Rangers zone to the Canadiens line with Stanley and Gordon. McCoskey passes out and Gordon bangs it home. The Rangers lead 1-0. Rookie Jack Gordon scoring. The Rangers aren't content to hang on to that 1-goal lead. 56 seconds later, they score again on a power play. Pat Egan, not in camera range, drives in a long screen shot with Alan Stanley and Buddy O'Connor setting up the play. The Ranger players mob Pat Egan, one of the league's most colorful figures. Battling furiously against that 2-goal lead, the Canadians, led by Billy Ray, go on the attack, but the Rangers set up a close-knit defense. Hitting a disastrous slump as the regular season closed, the New York Rangers were not considered a strong threat for the Stanley Cup, but they came up with a fighting effort. With victory in sight, the Rangers reached way down inside themselves for the true winning spirit. Backed by the incomparable Charlie Rayner in goal, the Rangers drew up a stout defense against such Canadian stars as Richard, Locke, Curry, Ray, and Dussault. The Rangers were particularly effective down the middle, with 3 outstanding centers, Ed LaPrade, Buddy O'Connor, and Don Raleigh. As these highlight scenes showed time and again, this trio were tops in stick-handling ability. Now the Rangers wind up for the final goal in this series. LaPrade, Lund, and Fisher roar to the attack. Lund shoots. Stunt Fisher jams home the rebound. The Rangers win the game 3-0 and win the semifinal series 4-1.
Enterprise. Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Oh, hello there.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Denver Hayes underwear. Only at Mark's Work Warehouse.
Introducing new Solstice 5 gum. The gum that starts off hot and finishes cold. New Solstice 5 gum. Hot meets cold. New Lush 5 gum. A crisp tropical sensation. New Lush 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
When you learn how to play hockey, you learn more than just a sport.
You learn essential life skills.
You keeping your grades up in school? Working hard? That's good.
Teamwork and dedication.
Great save.
The NHL works with over 30 nonprofit youth hockey organizations.
You know, Dustin Bufflin, and he's going to be around to give us some good pointers, maybe.
So more boys and girls of all backgrounds have the opportunity to play hockey.
What's up? Future stars. To become part of our team, visit NHL.com. And remember,
Hockey's for everyone.
Hockey is for everyone.
Gardens, one of hockey's showplaces and home of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs are out to win the Stanley Cup for the 4th straight year, something no team has been able to accomplish in the trophy's dramatic history. The team split even in the first 2 games in Detroit, but the Leafs took the 3rd game 2-0, giving Turk Broda his 2nd shutout in 3 games. Sid Abel faces off with Cal Gardner, and the 4th game is on. The puck is cleared back to the Toronto zone. Jimmy Thompson rounds his net, loses possession at the line. Toronto clears the puck ahead now. Watch for a beautiful scoring play. Ray Timgrim passes out to Max Bentley. Bentley scores, and the Leafs lead 1-0. Sid Abel feeds Ted Lindsay a short pass, but Harry Watson pulls down Lindsay. Referee McLean penalizes Watson. From the face-off, the puck comes back to Jack Stewart. Turk Broda blocks it, and the puck rolls wide. Jimmy Thompson, a fine rushing defenseman, races into Red Wing territory. Thompson passes to Watson, but Leo Reese blocks the shot. Watch the Red Wings goalie, Harry Lumley, now with Chicago, come up with some acrobatics as Howie Meeker, Cal Gardner, and Harry Watson storm around the Detroit cage. Watson misses. Detroit players pack in around the goal mouth. Cal Gardner of Toronto, number 17, can't get it in. Gus Mortson shoots. Lumley loses his goal stick and falls on the loose puck. It's near the end of the period, and the Red Wings tie the score at 1-0. Marty Pavlich, out of camera range, takes a double pass from Jerry Couture and Jimmy McFadden. From this point on, the teams were to play more than 60 minutes of scoreless hockey before the game was decided in the 2nd overtime period. Here is hockey at its very best. 2 evenly matched teams who went right down the line before a decision was reached. Starring for the Red Wings, one of the game's greatest forward line combinations, Sid Abel, Ted Lindsay, and Gordie Howe. Sid Abel won recognition in 1950 by Sport magazine as hockey's Man of the Year. Here he is, Sid Abel, in close, but stopped by Broda. Toronto clears the puck out of danger. Bill Barilko slides headlong into the boards to break up a play. Sid Smith flies across the Detroit line, but is checked hard by Claire Martin. Detroit's tight-knit defensive power is never better demonstrated than in these scenes. At the close of the first overtime period, Bill Barilko of the Leafs had drawn a minor penalty, which held over into the 1st minute of the 2nd overtime period. Detroit readies for the kill. Leo Reese out of the picture, fires the puck from the right board, and the puck is deflected over the goal line, and the Wings win 2-1 at 38 seconds in the 2nd overtime.
Dancing with the Stars is a huge show. 20 million people watching it. You're under a lot of pressure to, have good choreography, get good scores, and of course, obviously have a good complexion. We're sweating, we've got makeup on. I started breaking out, and so, cover the blemishes even more with makeup. It was a lot of blemishes on my forehead and around my chin. Yeah, that was not a fun time. My sister introduced me to Proactive. It ended up clearing up my skin, and I was able to let my personality come through again. Proactive worked for me.
It's time to get Proactive working for your skin. Order in the next 4 minutes and save over 50%. Just $24.99 Canadian. That's right, only $24.99.
This is worth any amount of money to me to have beautiful, clean skin.
I feel fresh and vibrant. People are looking into my eyes and not at my forehead. I'm just radiant.
Act quickly and get the product everyone's talking about. Our fast-acting refining mask free, designed to help zap problem zits fast.
It just gave me clean, clear skin, and it just dries out the zit and it goes away.
Remember, Proactive comes with a money-back guarantee. So if you're not completely satisfied, just send back the bottles for a complete refund.
I guess you could say Proactive is kind of like my lucky charm. It was with me when I was on Dancing with the Stars when I broke out, and it's now with me as I'm embarking on my new career, which is to sing.
If you're struggling with blemishes or breakouts, don't give up hope. Proactive can help you turn your broken out skin to clear skin. With our money-back guarantee, there's no downside to trying Proactive right now. Go to proactivesolution.ca or call the number on your screen.
Don't let breakouts get in the way of your dreams. Call right now and get Proactive.
In the Detroit Red Wings dressing room, the atmosphere is electric as the Red Wings prepare to meet the New York Rangers in a game played in Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto. Detroit leads the series 1-0. Leo Reese and coach Tommy Ivan discuss strategy. Goalie Harry Lumley straps on 40 pounds of equipment. And Ted Lindsay, leading scorer in the National League, looks relaxed. Red Kelly, youthful defense star. Jack Adams and Tommy Ivan compare notes. On the other side of the building, in the dressing room of the New York Rangers, Charlie Rayner shows the strain of the Stanley Cup Finals. Rayner's goaltending won for him the Hart Trophy as the most valuable player in the league. Pat Egan, Rangers defenseman, is much more considerate of his sweater than he is of opposing forwards. Kenny Lund scored 6 playoff goals for the Rangers. And Alan Stanley's great defensive play was a prominent factor in the Rangers' success. Gus Kyle used to be a Mountie. Lynn Patrick tells the Rangers in a pre-game pep talk that the same hustle that beat Montreal will be good enough against Detroit. Here come the Rangers, led by Rayner and Frankie Edels and Ed LaPrade, Tony Leswick, Gus Kyle, Alec Kalita, and Nick McCoskey. The referee is George Gravel as Sid Abel faces off with Don Raleigh. Detroit players are identified by the solid white band at the bottom of their jerseys and the solid white band on their stockings. Abel leads the rush, but the Rangers cover up in front of their net. Dick McCoskey out of his own zone. McCoskey on a return pass, in close on Lumley, who slides out to save. The Rangers try again. Edgar LaPrade leads the rush. Cuts across the Detroit defense and rips off a screen shot. Lumley saves a pile-up around the goal. And Lumley catches it in the air. Here's poetry in motion. Ed LaPrade underway. Around Jimmy McFadden. Around Leo Reese. Around Lee Fogelin. Buddy O'Connor returns for New York. His drop pass is intercepted by Jerry Couture. George Gee drives in. Gee's shot is wide of the Rangers' goal. Kyle clears to Gordon. To O'Connor. O'Connor passes to Gordon. Gordon to McCoskey. He shoots. And Lumley saves sensationally on the play. In the second period, Detroit leads 1-0 on Jerry Couture's goal. Penty Lund, using Don Raleigh as a screen, gets in close but shoots wide. Ted Lindsay passes into the corner to Sid Abel. Abel to Red Kelly. Kelly shoots, and Rayner turns it aside. Halfway through the second period, the Rangers tied the score on Pat Egan's unassisted goal. The series was as tight as a drum the rest of the way. Down the left wing boards goes Buddy O'Connor. O'Connor swings in front of the Red Wings defense. But Lumley makes a fine save on the shot and the rebound. John Raleigh is stopped by Jack Stewart's poke check. Marcel Pronovo grabs the loose puck, and Pat Egan hits him a solid check. Pronovo tries again, but the Rangers covered up. Early in the third period, the Rangers went ahead 2-1 on a great goal by Edgar Laprade on Alan Stanley's assist. But Laprade was not satisfied with just one goal. Here's Edgar Laprade scoring one of hockey's memorable goals. Harry Lumley can't figure it out. The Rangers are jubilant, and in the slowed down action, let's have Laprade do it again. In full stride at center ice, Laprade fakes a pass to Leswick. He shifts around Claire Martin and comes to a full stop. He moves in on Lumley and stops again. Then he flips the puck into the short side. Can't blame Harry Lumley for looking bewildered. Here's the last play of the game, as Joe Carveth leads the Detroit attack. The puck rolls through to Rayner, who clears it ahead. The game ends. Rangers win the second game 3-1, and the series is tied at 1 game each.
This is our backyard. This is our hill. And these are our HD moments. Experience them on Viera from Panasonic, official HD TV of the Olympic Games.
Now's the best time to get a 2010 Kia Soul. Or a 2010 Kia Forte. Or even a 2010 Kia Forte Coupe. Get the best deals of the year during the Kia Holiday event and don't pay until spring. Plus, we'll give you up to $1,000 in prepaid gift cards. The Kia Holiday event. And coming soon, the all-new Sorrento.
This is NHL Game Center Live, your online access to live games on NHL.com. Subscribe now for TV quality coverage of up to 40 out-of-market games a week, live online. Use the new digital DVR and control the action. Toggle between matchups with picture-in-picture. Click Start Over to time shift any game. Follow stats while you connect with other fans. And NHL Mosaic View rocks 4 games at once. Subscribe now to NHL Game Center Live and don't miss another game. Get it at NHL.com/Game Center Live today. TSN 2. More of what you want. More of the best. More games, more sports, more choice. TSN 2.
Here's the 6th game. The Red Wings wear the sweaters with the solid white bands at the bottom and the solid white bands on the stockings. Rangers have won the last 2 games in the series on a pair of spectacular overtime goals by Don Raleigh. Jerry Couture is knocked down. Nick McCoskey passes to Kalita. Kalita to Alan Stanley, who scores! Rangers lead 1-0 and only need to win this game to win the Stanley Cup. In the 3rd game of the Stanley Cup final played in Toronto, Red Wings won 4-0 with Harry Lumley turning in a well-deserved shutout. Then the series returned to the Detroit Olympia to be fought to a finish. It took plenty of heart to win the 4th and 5th games on Detroit ice, but the Rangers had it. Tony Leswick feeds it up to Ed LaPrade. Over to Fisher. With a brilliant shot, he scores! That gives the Rangers a 2-0 lead with only 8 minutes played. Pat Egan and Marcel Pronovo rough each other up. Referee Gravel has a ringside seat. And linesman George Hayes separates the battlers, and it's a penalty to Egan. Facing a 2-goal deficit, the Red Wings showed the true champion spirit and dug in harder. Before the period closed, Ted Lindsay scored from Blackjack Stewart, but the Rangers got it back. Pendy Lund from Dunk Fisher and Ed LaPrade. With the Red Wings trailing 3-1, the indomitable Sid Abel gets in close. A long shot. On the rebound, Abel scores! That brings Detroit closer. It's 3-2, Rangers leading. After 16 minutes of play in the second period, Jerry Couture bagged his 4th goal of the playoffs, with George G. and Pete Babando assisting, and the game was tied at 3-0. Before the third period was 2 minutes old, fiery Tony Leswick gave the Rangers the lead once more as LaPrade and Fisher provided the assist. Lindsay came through with the tying goal for Detroit less than 3 minutes later. That made the score 4-4 and climaxed a terrific uphill fight by the battling Red Wings. Then Red Wing veteran Sid Abel won the game. Here's Abel falling over Charlie Rayner right in the goal mouth. In slow motion, Abel tumbles over Rayner. And he somehow shoves the puck into the net. That won the game for the Red Wings 5-4 and tied the series at 3 games each. In the last minute of play, the Rangers removed their goalie in a desperate effort to get the equalizer, but the Red Wings hung on to the final whistle. The chips are really down now in this first All-American Stanley Cup final in 7 years. With Marty Pavelich in the penalty box, the Rangers scored 2 goals in 64 seconds to jump into a 2-goal lead. Alan Stanley and Tony Leswick were the marksmen. In the second period, with Stanley of New York in the box, the Red Wings tied the score with 2 goals just 21 seconds apart. Pete Babando and Sid Abel pulling the trigger. Then Buddy O'Connor scored for New York, and Jimmy McFadden tied it up again with a Detroit goal. A scoreless third period, a scoreless overtime period, and 8 minutes into the second overtime set the stage for intense sports drama. Pete Babando cuts in, he shoots, he scores! Detroit wins! For the first time, the Stanley Cup was decided by a sudden death goal in overtime. You can almost feel the jubilation of the victorious Red Wings, the dejection of the New York Rangers, who twice had a 2-goal lead in the last 2 games and failed to win. But that's hockey. It's a fiercely competitive sport, played to the limit by high-salaried stars, whose supreme physical condition enables them to provide the full 60 minutes of sustained speed and action throughout each of the 35 regular home games in the 6 National Hockey League cities. And so, once again, the winning of the Stanley Cup ends another chapter in the history of hockey, the truly great international sport.
NHL on the Fly. It's on every night at 80 Still, the one, the only place where you get live look-ins of every game. You want all the goals, hits, and saves?
UHD delivers the goods with the Leafs and Sands. The NFL. Mixed martial arts. And UEFA Champions League. It's all on Sportsnet Ontario HD.
Get enough of you. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful finish.
Day 46 of the Olympic torch relay's journey began in the pre-dawn darkness at the Terry Fox statue in Ottawa. From there, it headed west in a foggy mist as nearly 130 torchbearers took the flame all the way to Kingston.
Torch Relay Today, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Open the games. Open happiness.
Our Sportsnet viewers have spoken, and for the second straight year, Georges St-Pierre has been voted as the Sportsnet Canadian Athlete of the Year. GSP beating out the next leading candidate, Sidney Crosby, in fan balloting. Yes, GSP earning the award over Sidney Crosby, winning 64% of the votes. And our Craig McEwen is standing by with this year's winner.
On behalf of everyone at the network, sports fans all across Canada, George, my pleasure to present to you Sportsnet's 2009 Canadian Athlete of the Year Award.
Wow, thank you very much. I don't know what to say. That's amazing. It's a great honor for me to win that prize again 2 years in a row, and I want to say thank you to all my fans. Also, I would like to congratulate all the nominated for that award. Sidney Crosby being nominated with a guy like Sidney Crosby, which is the best hockey player of nowadays. For me, it's a great honor. Especially in a country where hockey is king, and I think it's good for me, but it's also good for the sport of mixed martial art. And once again, thank you for the support.
Yeah, and you say Sidney Crosby. I mean, obviously, it must be nice to beat such a great Canadian hockey player.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see it like I beat him. I see it like I'm nominated with him. You know, like it's you know, I could have lost, like, but I won. You know, like I just feel lucky and blessed at the same time. You know that all the fans are voting for me. So Sportnet and everybody, you know, thank you so much for the support. That's a great day for mixed martial art.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
GSP, the Sportsnet 2009 Canadian Athlete of the Year, and who knows, maybe next year we'll be back for a three-peat.
I will.
8 games in the NHL last night, highlights from all of them, and it looks like Roy Halladay is heading to the National League. Details when Connected AM continues in just 3 minutes.
Commentators Clothing, provided in part by Z Zenya, available at the Coop in Toronto. Women's hair services provided by Fiorio Hair Salons. Go to Fiorio.com for a location near you. Closed captioning brought to you by Canadian Club. Blended before aging for superior smoothness and proudly Canadian since 1858. Please drink responsibly.
Hi there. I'm Tooch from Tech Club. There is nothing graceful about shopping over the holidays. You need to be in peak physical condition if you're going to survive. I suggest a regimen of flat-out gift spreads. Or you can just go to Future Shop. Me, I like to be prepared.
This holiday, get a 42-inch LG home theater package for only $999.99. This 8-gig iPod Nano for $154.99, and this Samsung camera for $99.99. Great gifts, lowest prices. Future Shop.
I'm good.
This is Tom Foley speaking. The powerful Detroit Red Wings dominated the regular 70-game schedule of the National Hockey League in 1952 and finished far in front for the 4th straight year with a strong combination of experience and youth. The Montreal Canadiens, in the midst of a rebuilding campaign, came with a rush to finish second, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, defending the Stanley Cup they had won 4 times in the 5 previous seasons, finished third. The Boston Bruins, stressing a youth movement, finished in the 4th playoff position, ahead of the New York Rangers and Chicago Blackhawks. In the semifinals of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Detroit Red Wings met their arch rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, in a best-of-7 series, while the Montreal Canadiens took on the fourth-place Boston Bruins. The Detroit-Toronto meeting was expected to produce a typical hard-fought series, but smarting under the sting of Toronto victories in previous playoffs, the Red Wings threw the book at the Leafs and beat them decisively in 4 straight games. Terry Sawchuk, the Wings goalie, permitted only 3 goals against him in 4 games, and rookie Johnny Wilson was the scoring star with 4 goals. On the other hand, the Montreal Canadiens were expected to encounter little difficulty in shunting the Boston Bruins to the sidelines. Boston came back from 2 straight defeats to knock off the Flying Frenchmen in 3 straight games, and were leading 2-1 in what could have been the decisive game, but a goal by Maurice Richard tied the score, and rookie Paul Masnick's overtime goal squared the series and sent it back to Montreal for the 7th game. 3 minutes from the end of the game, hockey's rocket Maurice Richard scored one of the greatest goals of his spectacular career, and the Montreal Canadiens entered the Stanley Cup Finals against the Detroit Red Wings. As the Stanley Cup Finals opened in the historic Montreal Forum, Detroit's top defensemen Red Kelly and Leo Reese were on the shelf, and Canadiens were weak at center ice with Ken Mosdell and Johnny McCormick recovering from fractured limbs, and Dick Gamble nursing an attack of the flu. Referee Bill Chadwick faces off between Paul Masnick of the Canadiens and Detroit's Sid Abel, with Detroit wearing the dark sweaters with white numbers and Canadiens wearing the white sweaters. Tommy Johnson of Canadiens, wearing number 10, drives a shot wide of the net. Johnson, Bert Olmsted, and Floyd Curry of Canadiens drive in for the rebound, but Sawchuk smothers the puck. The tough Detroit defenders hold off Canadiens. Early in the second period, Detroit scores. Scrappy Tony Leswick, number 8, fires the puck under the arm of goaltender Jerry McNeil, who was lying on the ice. Detroit's great all-star left winger Ted Lindsay gets a rough ride from the Canadiens' all-star defenseman Doug Harvey. Harvey shows why he was named to the National League's all-star team, and his ice generalship is a real highlight as he blocks Detroit pass-outs. Lindsay and spunky Paul Meagher of Canadiens tangle in the corner, and Lindsay takes a penalty. Number 9 is Canadiens' Maurice Richard, passing to Elmer Locke, then over to Dickie Moore, but the shot is wide. Big Eddie Mazer, number 22, sweeps down the right boards and centers out perfectly to Paul Masnick, but the pass-out is missed. Still leading 1-0 in the third period, Detroit's Marcel Pronovo misses the corner with a slide shot. And on a brilliantly executed pass-out from the backboard, Pronovo is off the corner again. Sid Abel, number 12, feeds a perfect pass to Gordie Howe, who is righty and has McNeil at his mercy, but even the best miss at time. Maurice Richard and Glenn Scove carry each other into the boards, and the hard collision brings tempers to a boil. They are pried apart by linesmen George Hayes and Billy Morrison, and each receives a minor penalty. Doug Harvey leads an attack against the Detroit fence of White and Goldham. And the payoff is a goal. Tommy Johnson, number 10, drives home Olmsted's pass from the corner. That makes it 2-1 for Detroit with 9 minutes to play. Pass to Tony Leswick is intercepted by Maurice Richard, and the rocket is underway. He shoots, swoops in for the rebound, but Sawchuk holds onto the puck. Strong defensive play, especially in the playoffs, has always been a trademark of the Detroit Red Wings. Here the Wings' wearing down tactics are graphically demonstrated. Boom Boom Joffrey on number 5 gets set for his famous shot. Sawchuk stops it, and Bob Goldham recovers the rebound. In the last minute of play, Canadiens remove their goaltender. And off Sid Abel's pass, Ted Lindsay scores into the empty goal, making the score 3-1 for Detroit. It's discovered that there is still another minute and 16 seconds to play. So a crestfallen Jerry McNeil goes back into the net. Elmer Locke, number 16, leads at last-ditch Canadiens attack, but Detroit fight them off and win the first game 3-1.
With inspired technology and leases from $179 a month, the redesigned Nissan Sentra is easily the best part of your day.
The Moore's year-end sale is our biggest sale of the year. You'll find designer sport coats, designer dress pants, and designer dress shirts. Buy one, get one free. Moore's, well made, well priced, well dressed.
Hey man, glad you came. Make a Caesar?
It's okay, I brought some.
Expertly pre-mixed, the Mott's Clamato Caesar. When you see one, you want one.
With inspired technology and leases from $179 a month, the redesigned Nissan Sentra is easily the best part of your day.
With George Gravel refereeing, the second game begins in the Montreal Forum. Canadiens are wearing their white home ice uniforms, and the Red Wings are in dark sweaters. Detroit's production line, Sid Abel, number 12, Ted Lindsay, number 7, and Gordie Howe, number 9, dominate the play. It's a wild and woolly first period. No less than 10 minor penalties are called. Ted Lindsay starts from behind his own goal and streaks up right wing. But Doug Harvey knocks him out of the play. On a Detroit power play, Vic Stasiak rifles in a shot from right wing, but Jerry McNeil makes a fine save. Now Detroit's potent Gordie Howe, number 9, gets away a pass to Mistro Pristi, and Pristi in turn relays the puck to Alec Del Vecchio, number 15, a dangerous scoring chance, but Jerry McNeil turns it aside. Big Dollard Saint Laurent breaks away from his own blue line. But the Canadian shot is deflected wide, and Jeffrey On is hurt on the play. Elmer Locke sets up Doug Harvey, but the great Terry Sawchuk is right on the job. Detroit defenseman Benny White passes to Sid Abel, number 12, and Abel's wicked shot bounces off McNeil's shoulder. McNeil stops another shot by Marty Pavelich as Detroit forces the pace. Near the close of the first period, Tony Leswick passes out to Marty Pavelich, who scores, and the Red Wings have that all-important first goal. There are 2.5 minutes to play in the period. The puck changes hands rapidly, and finally Tony Leswick intercepts a pass by Elmer Locke. And then Leswick slashes at Bud McPherson. It's a minor penalty for Leswick, and the Canadiens have the man advantage for 2 minutes. And now a face-off inside the Detroit zone. Elmer Locke gets the draw. The puck rolls back to Jeffrey On, whose shot deflects to Doug Harvey on the far boards. Ted Lindsay tries to clear out from the corner. Jeffrey On blocks it, winds up, shoots, and the bullet shot is tipped into the net by Elmer Locke. The score is tied 1-1. Canadiens almost do it again as Harvey drives down the middle of the ice. Geoffrion takes his pass, drills it at Sawchuk, who pulls a great save as the period comes to the end. It takes the Red Wings only 43 seconds to score the goal that wins the game in the second period. Doug Harvey is in the penalty box. The Red Wings pour on the heat. They storm around the Canadiens' net. Gordie Howe's bullet shot drives McNeil to the ice. From the side of the net, Ted Lindsay pokes in the loose puck to make the score 2-1 for Detroit. Back for Canadiens. Hard skating Dickie Moore shoots wide. Moore slides a pass to Saint Laurent. The Canadian defenseman drills it wide again. The Canadiens continue to press. The teams change lines as the hectic pace takes its toll, even on the superbly conditioned athletes in the Stanley Cup final. Sidable loses to David Saint Laurent. His shot is deflected to the side. Here's the play that cost the Canadiens their fine young defenseman. In a body-checking exchange with Gordie Howe, Saint Laurent suffers a lacerated eyeball and is out for the rest of the series. Doug Harvey returns for Montreal, but his backhand shot is wide. Bob Goldham on the return rush for Detroit tries a long slap shot at Jerry McNeil. Now the game is in the third period. Bob Goldham sets up Ted Lindsay, and the Red Wing left winger forces McNeil to make a fine save. Here's the Rocket at his sensational best, driving around Goldham and White, but his shot slides past the far goal post. Billy Ray, number 14, proving once again that he's one of the game's best stick handlers, gives a clever exhibition. But his pass out is smothered by a sliding Detroit defenseman, Benny White. Detroit leads 2-1. Forward Floyd Curry makes a save with the Montreal net again empty. A wild flurry around the Detroit goal by Geoffrion. Dickie Moore and Richard fails to give the Canadiens the equalizer, and the game ends with Detroit the winners 2-1 and leading the series 2-0.
The Nikon D5000 and its Vari-Angle LCD lets you capture stunning digital images and HD videos. Look around. Life is beautiful. Everything you've just seen was shot with the Nikon D5000.
It's game on with Delisio. You could win a trip for two to this year's World Junior Championship gold medal game. Go to tsn.ca/Delisio to enter. With its mouth-watering toppings and fresh baked taste, it's not delivery, it's Delisio. Proud sponsor of Hockey Canada.
Come on, people! Make some
As reliable as the people who drive them. Honda, official vehicle of the NHL, and hockey parents everywhere.
Now the series switches to the Detroit Olympia, the home of the Stanley Cup-bound Detroit Red Wings. Leading 2-0 and needing only 2 more victories in a possible 5 games, Detroit is a strong favorite. With Red Story refereeing, the Red Wings are now wearing the white sweaters, and the Canadiens are in the dark uniforms. So far, Gordie Howe hasn't scored a goal in 4 playoff games against Toronto and 2 against Canadiens, but the league's leading scorer is due to break loose. Wearing number 9, Howe turns at center ice and drives in for a long shot. Bert Olmsted has it behind the goal. Howe forces him into a corner. When Howe and Olmsted threaten a fight, everybody gets into the act. Ted Lindsay is neatly sandwiched by the Canadiens' defensemen Butch Bouchard and Bud McPherson. But Howe comes back to score one of the greatest goals of the series, a stick-handling masterpiece. Always a great defensive team, the Red Wings set about the business of defending a 1-goal lead. Johnny Wilson teams up with Metro Christi, and defenseman Doug Harvey saves. It's a hammer and tongs hockey game, end-to-end action, an all-out performance by 2 teams battling for the world's professional hockey championship. The great Richard flies down right wing in his old-time style. He loses control of the puck at the very last moment. And after a goal-mouth pile-up, another fight breaks out. Dickie Moore and Tony Leswick mix it up. Benny White knocks Moore down. Moore throws a punch over the linesman's shoulder. Richard and Leswick are at it again. Moore and Leswick draw minor penalties for roughing. Now the slow motion camera takes us back to that dramatic rush by Richard, who is right in but fails to get the shot away. Hanging on to that 1-goal lead, Terry Sawchuk gives a remarkable exhibition in the Red Wings' net. It's another great game, and a jam-packed Olympia rocks with applause. He scored 47 goals in the regular season. And now Gordie Howe takes command, using a great shift to fool Dickie Moore. An ambidextrous stick handler, Howe retains possession of the puck as long as he can. Marcel Pronovost streaks out of the Detroit zone, one of the fastest rushing defensemen in the game. But Floyd Curry knocks Johnny Wilson out of the play with a hard check. A playmaking defenseman like Doug Harvey of the Canadiens is a tremendous asset to the team. Bert Olmsted misses his pass in the goal mouth. At the other end, Marty Pavlich's wicked shot is caught by Jerry McNeil. The end-to-end action has the Olympia in an uproar. Detroit now holding a 2-goal lead after Ted Lindsay's goal. Bud McPherson and Dickie Moore, 2 great Canadian players of the future, team up to make it hot for Sawchuk in the 3rd period. But Sawchuk is unbeatable. Gordie Howe scores on his blistering backhand shot. His 2nd goal of the night settles the outcome of the game, 3-0 in the Red Wings' favor.
For exceptional kitchen knives, choose the finely crafted, perfectly balanced Kurodori knife set, exclusively at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. The blades are superior quality German steel with tapered edges for optimum sharpness and precise cuts. Dimples help prevent binding. NSF approved and unconditionally guaranteed. Choose the exclusive Kurodori knife set.
Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Buying the food, planning the menu, managing the staff. It's all on me. Even when I was young, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Culinary school had to be the first step.
Very nice, you guys.
The international culinary schools at the Art Institutes exposed me to a variety of techniques and cuisines and prepared me for everything that came my way.
Beautiful.
This is what the Art Institutes did for me. Find out what they can do for you.
We survived the terrain, overcame the climate, and braved the snow. One might say we've been training for this moment for 340 years. The official Vancouver 2010 Canadian Olympic Team Collection from Hudson's Bay Company, only at the Bay and Zellers.
There are millions of mortgages in Canada. If you have one, you have a Manulife One number. Take Mike, for example. Mike and his wife Sarah have a mortgage, line of credit, car loan, and several savings and checking accounts. Simply by combining all their inefficient accounts into the revolutionary Manulife One, Mike calculated they could save $46,980 in interest and own their home years sooner. Discover your Manulife One number today at manulifeone.ca.
The Red Wings are a determined crew as they come on the ice for the fourth game. If they win, they will become the first team to ever win the Stanley Cup in 8 straight games. And if Terry Sawchuk can come up with another shutout, it will give him a total of 4, equaling the playoff record held by Davy Kerr and Frank McCool. Starting this game in an unfamiliar position, center ice, Maurice Richard shows he's a great playmaker by passing out perfectly to Eddie Mazur, who misses a great chance. Detroit takes the lead in the first period. Rookie Alec Del Vecchio passing out to Metro Presti, who gives McNeil no chance in a 10-foot shot to the corner. Richard and Paul Meagher, number 20, team up, but the hard-hitting Detroit defense drives the Canadiens forwards into the board. Far behind in this series, the Canadiens never give up. Doug Harvey works his way to center ice, falls over Sid Abel's stick, keeps on going. But Leo Reese intercepts the pass. Reese rushes. He drops the pass to Abel, whose shot is wide. Ted Lindsay has an open corner, but his shot is wide. The Canadiens keep driving in, and the game becomes even rougher. Leswick charges Moore, and Dickey responds with a vicious swing of his stick. A great star in this series. Leswick takes the penalty. Butch Bouchard uses his weight to a good advantage. And here is a new danger for goaltenders as the crossbar bangs McNeil. Late in the second period, the Red Wings score their second goal. Glenn Skov converting Pristi's pass out from the corner. In the third period, Canadiens fight harder than ever to get back in the game, with Tommy Johnson traveling end to end. Bud McPherson lashes in a screen shot, but Sawchuk saves the game. Canadiens attack relentlessly, but Sawchuk is unbeatable. And sensing victory in 4 straight games, the Red Wings defense continues their hard-hitting tactics. Star of this final game was Metro Pristi. And here in a remarkable picture, Pristi scores the Red Wings' third and final goal. Still, the Canadiens roar to the attack. Billy Ray combining with Dickie Moore. But once again, Terry Sawchuk is too good, and Sawchuk marks up his 4th shutout in 8 playoff games. He didn't allow a goal in any game played on Detroit ice. Sawchuk is mobbed by his jubilant teammates as the game and the series comes to an end. For the 5th time in their 27 years in the National League, the Detroit Red Wings have won the Stanley Cup. And in 1952, they left no doubt as to their complete superiority. Disappointed that they could not win, but sportsmen to the core, the Montreal Canadiens, congratulate the Red Wings in a center ice demonstration. The president of the National Hockey League, Clarence Campbell, stands beside the Stanley Cup and congratulates the Detroit Red Wings on their record-breaking, undefeated drive to the Stanley Cup. Jim Norris, Tommy Ivan, and Jack Adams take a bow for a good job, well done. And in a spontaneous gesture of appreciation, the Red Wings lift Coach Tommy Ivan high on their shoulders. It goes down in the record books as one of the hardest fought and hardest hitting Stanley Cup finals in history. Superbly conditioned athletes, with a total disregard for the hazards of violent body contact, gave an all-out performance in each and every game, which frequently led to penalties. For this is a high-speed sport, where a crushing body check is not soon forgotten and therefore quickly returned. The Stanley Cup playoff sees the culmination of an intense rivalry between the 6 teams in the National Hockey League that continues game after game through each of 35 home games played by the Chicago Blackhawks, New York Rangers, Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, and the Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings. No sport on earth compares with professional hockey as played in the National League. 60 exciting minutes of sustained speed and action.
The thought of a goaltender not wearing a mask is to think of someone committing hockey suicide. But less than 50 years ago, not one goaltender did. Injuries were commonplace, and the face of most netminders were scarred for life. That all changed on the night of November 1st, 1959 in New York. The Canadien Jacques Plante was injured on a shot by the Rangers' Andy Bathgate. Plante retreated to the dressing room for repairs, but would not return unless Coach Toe Blake allowed him to wear a mask. Plante had been trying one in practice for months, but Blake was dead set against it. On this occasion, however, Blake had no choice. No other goaltender was available, so he relented. Plante won the game that night, and then went on an unbeaten streak of 18 games. The mask was here to stay. Jacques Plante was a genius that dared to be different. He changed the role of a goaltender in so many ways. He was the first to stop the puck behind the net. He was the first to handle it and headman the puck to teammates. But of all his enduring contributions to a sport he passionately cared about, we cite the goalie mask as the one we remember him best for.
NHL on the Fly. It's on every night at 8 Eastern. The one, the only place where you get live look-ins of every game. You want all the goals, hits, and saves? Check. All the latest news and analysis? Check.
The barriers we always thought were there suddenly weren't. Introducing a TV designed to set your viewing experience free. So is it a TV or something better?
The 2010 Chevrolet Malibu takes you further. Its fuel efficiency is better than Honda Accord or Toyota Camry. Fuel efficient, stylish, and fun to drive. Maybe that's why the experts are saying, more enjoyable to drive than Toyota Camry, better looking than the Honda Accord. The price will get you talking too. And if you don't love your Malibu, return it. That's our 60-day satisfaction guarantee. The 2010 Chevrolet Malibu.
Hi there. I'm Tooch from Tech Club. There is nothing graceful about shopping over the holidays. You need to be in peak physical condition if you're going to survive. I suggest a regimen of flat-out gift sprints. Or you could just go to Future Shop. Me, I like to be prepared.
This holiday, get a 42-inch LG home theater package for only $999.99. This 8-gig iPod Nano for $154.99, and this Samsung camera for $99.99. Great gifts, lowest prices. Future Shop.
I'm good. I need 70 more rolls of paper.
I need an ultrasound machine.
If you're a business owner, you need to spend a lot. Now there's a card built to give you a lot back. The Business Gold Rewards Card from American Express. Choose to pay with points to fly anywhere, anytime. Or transfer your points to Aeroplan instantly. Get 25,000 welcome points, enough for a ticket to almost anywhere in North America. Plus, the first year's free, so give us a call. The American Express Business Gold Rewards Card, built for business owners.
There won't be any friendly holiday greetings when division rival Buffalo visit Toronto to take on the Buds. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Rogers Sportsnet. Sabres, Leafs, Monday. Coverage begins at 6:30.
Ball on the sideline for a touchdown.
Ahead on Connected AM. The Roy Halladay trade rumors reach a peak as the Doc appears to be a piece of a Cy Young switch with Seattle and Philadelphia. After getting back on track against the Caps, the Leafs look to avoid a derailment by the Senators in the Battle of Ontario. The Canadians look to their backup in hopes of shutting down the Sabres at the Bell Center. Plus, the results are in. Find out who you chose as Sportsnet's Canadian Athlete of the Year. It's time to get connected. Talk about a busy past 24 hours for Toronto sports fans. Good morning, I'm Martine Geyer, and welcome to Connected AM. It's not a done deal yet, but Blue Jays ace Roy Halladay is close to being traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Several reports suggest that the Jays have traded Halladay to the Phillies as part of a three-way deal that would also see lefty Cliff Lee shipped to the Mariners. As part of the trade, Halladay would agree to a 3-year extension, which would guarantee him $60 million. The Jays will get a package of top prospects, possibly from both Seattle and Philadelphia. Cliff Lee, meantime, superb in last year's playoffs, going 4-0 for Philly. Our Ken Rosenthal tries to explain why the Phillies would want to replace Lee with Halladay.
The situation now is that Cliff Lee, like Halladay, is eligible for free agency after next season. So you ask, why trade Cliff Lee? Well, the Phillies evidently believe that they're not totally a favorite to sign Cliff Lee long term, that he likely will go free agent. This way, they will sign Halladay long term as part of the deal. That's what he's getting for waiving his no trade clause. And they have an ace in hand rather than uncertainty going forward.
There is still plenty of speculation on who else may be included in the deal. Indications are that the Phillies have balked at Toronto's repeated requests for outfielder Dominic Brown, and that the Phils are offering highly touted outfielder Michael Taylor in his place. It appeared that Canadian blue-chip prospect Philippe Aumont, who is in the Mariners organization, was going to be heading to Toronto, but sources have told Sportsnet that Aumont is not part of the deal and that the Jays continue to pursue Philadelphia's Kyle Drabek. The Jays have been after Drabek since the teams began talking about a possible deal earlier in the summer. Since 2002, Halladay has been arguably the best pitcher in baseball with a minimum of 200 starts. Halladay has the most wins, shutouts, and complete games. To hockey now, and the Ottawa Senators may have taken the first two games in the Battle of Ontario, but heading into round 3, they were taking on a Leafs team who was riding a major high after a come-from-behind win against the Capitals on Saturday. That marked the Leafs' 7th victory in their last 10, so suddenly the word playoffs is actually being thrown around with no one laughing. It's no joke. The Leafs looking to win 4 straight home games for the first time since April 2007, taking on the Senators, who have taken both of those meetings, as I mentioned, against the Leafs this season. 1-goal victories, by the way. Second period, the Leafs open the scoring. It's Jason Blake down the wing. He backhands a soft one that gets past Brian Elliott, and Toronto up 1-0. Then soon after, tempers flare as Colton Orr and Matt Carkner drop the gloves. Carkner scoring the takedown. Meantime, at the other end, the Sens with a 2-on-1. Nick Foligno, his shot is stopped, but Thomas Caberlet can't clear it, and Mike Fisher will make his